Let's send it down to Brendan Parker and Cory Sarich for tonight's Flames TV postgame show presented by Original 16.
All right, welcome inside Flames Postgame Live. It is presented by Original 16. Brendan Parker alongside Cory Sarich as the Flames open up a two-game homestand. 8 games remaining coming into tonight. Know that they have to get as many as they can possibly get in terms of points and wins, and started out nicely here tonight with a 4-1 win over the Anaheim Ducks in a game that I think it was described by Nazem Kadri as maybe a little looser than they had wanted, especially early on, but Calgary Flames found a way to get it done. What did you see here tonight?
Your descriptors are amazing. They started just how they wanted.
Yeah.
You get 16 seconds into the game and your first shot goes in. That's usually a pretty good sign.
It's a good start, yeah.
Nazem Kadri strikes again. I thought that the first period was a little bit run and gun. It was a little bit trying to trade chances with these young guys. Probably not a great recipe. They did a little bit of that in Utah the game before, and it didn't turn out as they wanted. But I thought the Flames did a great job in the second period of gaining traction, getting to their game, defense first, and then just taking the opportunities that were given. And that just carried on throughout the third. Got some goals, got a bit of a cushion, and you look at that, you score 4 goals, you win a hockey game.
Not bad, hey?
Yeah.
It seems that maybe that's the magic number. If you can get to 4 somewhat frequently.
It has been the Calgary Flames number this year. I mean, we've talked about it multiple times. Just it's been at times. It's been a struggle to get there.
Yeah, for sure. And Dustin Wolf obviously shuts the door after that first period goal from Anaheim. And as we talk about it, let's show it to you because it was 16 seconds in that gets the lid lifter in this game. And Nazem Kadri does it on the very first shift of the night. Maybe not even as many skate cuts through the offensive zone yet. This might have been the first one. And Kadri scores a beautifully placed shot for his 31st of the season.
Yep, pretty fresh ice out there. It's a little chip up the boards. Joel Hanley to Sharon Govich. And then Kadri makes no mistake on this one. And you knew he was shooting that puck the whole way.
No question. He, I don't even know if he looked Pospisil off there or not. I think it was just straight at the net. And he makes no mistake with it. 31 on the year. Kadri gives him a 1-0 lead. This goal comes just nearing the midway mark of the first, and this is what you were kind of talking about, a little bit of offensive chances, trading, going both ways, and Olin Zellweger, the Calgarian, finishes this one.
We don't get to see how this play developed, but the Flames had an unbelievable shift down in that end, but they're a little bit tired. You throw a blind puck to the slot, and all of a sudden, this is where this team's going to capitalize. They got good young players, defense jumping in on the play, and it happened a couple times in that first period. It made me a little nervous. Just turnovers in the offensive zone resulting in chances back this way. A couple of bad pinches for the Flames, but again, they got their feet under them later.
Yeah, it was right at the tail end of that Huberdeau chance at the other end, and then Ducks tie it up. This was in the second period, shorthanded, and a little bit of an offensive miscue by the Ducks, and it's the stick of Blake Coleman.
Yeah, and it was Braden Pahal that was put in the box for a cross-checking penalty, and we don't get to see that. But his stick broke. I thought it wasn't much of a cross-check.
Yeah.
He was just giving the guy a shove. Ryan Huska was not happy with it. Play starts, and turned out to be a blessing in disguise for the Calgary Flames.
A little spark to the offense, and we've talked a little bit about Blake Coleman feeling maybe they're a little bit snake-bitten at times. He's had a couple of goals called back on him, and he's had a couple of posts, but that one counts, and we'll hear more from Blake Coleman in just a second. But then the fourth line gets in on the action here.
Yeah, and Adam Clark, we'll talk a little bit about him later as well, and he's had a really nice game. He's actually had a really nice stretch of games. He's been a big part of a few of the wins here for the Calgary Flames. He's got toe drags going on. We see a wraparound here. It comes out in front, and Kevin Rooney makes no mistake. There's a Anaheim player screening their own goalie there, gets the puck up, finds the corner, and the whole fourth line gets in on that one.
Nice little offensive pop from the fourth line, and then third period, this is the icing on the cake, and it's Blake Coleman again off the rush. Chooses to shoot. It's got the hot hand, and this was Dostal now in for John Gibson, and the first shot he faces goes in.
And this was a rocket. I think it almost looked like the Ducks player got a little piece of that one, but put pucks towards the net. Again, Blake Coleman had some chances in the first period. It didn't go his way. He had a really great look in front and shot, I think, one of the Ducks players. He had another one that didn't quite go his way, and so you're right. This morning he was chatting in the room about they've had kind of a streak of bad luck, and he just felt like everything that could go wrong was going wrong for the Calgary Flames as of late. So it's nice to see not only the team but him specifically catch a couple breaks.
And maybe in Blake's case, the fact that there was no video review challenge on that goal necessary.
Yeah, the game goes by a little bit quicker when you take those out of the way.
Yeah, it sure does. Just make them count the first time. That happens tonight. Not a single goal review, and 4 successful goals. So obviously the Flames get the victory, 4-1 the final. Blake Coleman, the first star in this night, gets 2. He's up to 15 now on the season, and obviously plays a huge role in that. Let's go inside the locker room now and see. Let's hear from Nazem Kadri. He's got 31 on the season. Kadri continues to be a driver offensively for this team. Was again here tonight. Let's hear from him now.
I guess just another gutsy performance by your group across the board.
Yeah, I mean it's never easy to be in that position where you feel like you got to win the game, but we're certainly getting used to that, and I think it was a pretty solid performance from start to finish there.
Seems like maybe Ryan started the right line tonight.
Yes, I guess so. I mean, 15 seconds in? I mean, that's absolutely ideal for a scorer to be scoring on the first shift. So, great play up the wall, good execution, good chip out. Was able to just pick my spot, and it certainly felt nice.
Knowing that the conversation around this team is, do you still believe? How many wins would it take? How significant is it to start a game on that note?
Yeah, we got to take care of home ice. I mean, that's just how it's going to be, and we're prepared to do that. So, of course, I don't think there's a question on whether we're losing hope or not. So, we're believing, and I feel like we've played some great hockey over the last handful of games, and maybe some days haven't got the result we wanted. So it was nice to get the 2 points tonight.
Naz, I hope I'm not overstepping, but to see that goal, and I'm sure you're playing with a heavy heart. Will that one stay with you a while?
Definitely, yeah. My grandfather passed away recently, so it's almost meant to be, So, for first shift, obviously he's watching over us and wanted us to get the win tonight.
Mentally, is it refreshing to take a 2-goal lead to the third rather than chasing?
For sure. Anytime you can play with the lead, I think is the best case scenario. Even though in today's NHL, no lead is really safe. So I think you got to continue to build your game and try to get the next one. It's always the next goal is the most important goal, and we felt that way tonight.
And it's got to feel good. Just like there were no callback goals, no controversies today. It was just straightforward. You guys 1-4-1. So that's got to count for something.
Yeah, well, we got a couple nice bounces tonight, and I think we've earned that over the last couple weeks. We understand you can't get every bounce, but we'll take some.
And Ryan had said that you and Blake were instrumental in kind of making sure the mood was the right one after some of those frustrating non-calls. Just what did you do to make sure that you guys didn't get too frustrated during that?
It's tough not to. It's just natural, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't frustrated, but, you got to have a sense of composure and a sense of poise to continue and not let that bother you. So I just let it roll off the back and worry about, what's next.
Okay, Nazem, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, there's Nazem Kadri finishing up in the Calgary Flames locker room, and playing with a little bit of a heavy heart there too. You heard him mention his late grandfather, and gets the goal, his 31st of the season there. To a little salute to him, 16 seconds into this game, and maybe let's transfer over because Blake Coleman gets those 2 goals here tonight, and just sort of the shorthanded impacting the game in a couple of different areas, but. I would imagine for him personally, nice to see a couple find the back of the net.
Yeah, and just to not have it be such a grind tonight for the whole team. It's been mentally exhausting for everyone, and so he did a great job of leading tonight. He was on right from the get-go tonight, and he got his opportunities, and nice to see him cash in.
So as we see Blake Coleman's goals, we'll show you the other one coming up in just a second because Kevin Rooney stopping by the desk here, and there's the nice finish on the shorthanded rush. A little nice under the blocker, and Kevin Rooney stops by the desk live here on Flames Postgame Live as well. And Kevin, maybe just as we see a couple from Blake Coleman here tonight, nice to get that. I know you talked about the PK and the little boost you get. Obviously, it's nice to kill them off first and foremost, but to get a little bonus as far as the offense to go in with it as well.
Yeah, Coles and backs were really good at kind of pushing the pace on the kill when they put pressure on teams. So. They did a great job, and me and Hubie did our job too there. So it was a huge kill, kind of change the tides of the game.
Yeah, Kevin, you guys, you've had a few different line mates this year. You've had a couple different variations of your line. You guys seem to really be clicking. The big man's kind of finding his stride, and Lombo's Lombo. He's out there doing his thing. Just give me your perspective recently on your last few games, because it looked great from the outside.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think Claps is playing with a lot of confidence right now. That's, really helping me and Lombi. And, he's so strong, big and strong on the puck, and it's hard for guys to get it from him. So we keep preaching to him that, to hold on to it. And, sometimes he gets a little risky out there, and we got to reel him back in. But, it's all part of the learning curve, and we're really happy playing with him right now.
Well, you got to utilize that big reach, right? Like, he's got to find a way to make a go of it with it.
Yeah, you don't want to take it away from him, because he's got a great skill set for a big man. So, he's done a great job, and we'll just keep helping him out along the way.
Well, and I'd imagine too, there's a little bit of fun involved in part of that learning curve too. I mean, for you guys, a couple of guys that have been around the league a little bit longer too, and just sort of seeing him, getting his first extended taste in the NHL like that.
Yeah, me and Lombi definitely share a few laughs, whether it be practice or games. He's a guy that's really fun to be around too, Clapper. So he can take a joke really well. So yeah, he's done a great job, both on and off the ice this year for us.
How did it feel tonight to have a little bit of a cushion, not be in such a bit of a meat grinder as far as the game? Was it a little refreshing on the bench tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a little bit, looser in the third, and guys were able to just go out and play, and able to give Wolfie some run support there is huge, because he's been, outstanding for us all year, and we really haven't given him a game like that in, some time. So it was nice to see. I mean, obviously we need to, clean some things up with the way the game started. I think it was a little bit more of a track meet than we wanted to, but we reeled it in, and our big guys stepped up and made big plays, so it was a good one.
It's probably a good sign, though, in the third, too, just knowing how that game kind of was going, but just the way that you finished the game, as you kind of talked about, reeled it in a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the power play did a good job of coming out and getting one, and once we were able to get up 4-1, I think it was good. We were able to, not grip the sticks too tight, and kind of roll 4 lines, which was awesome.
Good stuff. Congrats on the goal, and congrats on the win.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Big one. Good job tonight.
Yeah, big 2 points tonight. Kevin Rooney stopping by the Flames TV desk. We continue on the post-game show. Let's hear from Blake Coleman now. He's the two-goal scorer and first star of the night, standing by inside the room. Let's hear from him now.
The only way to stop you from getting the hat trick is to throw your stick away, I guess. Is that the way they approached it?
It was a 10 out of 10 javelin. That was pretty. Still tried to get one, though. That was close. But, yeah, it was a strange play. But, end of the game is what it is.
You almost kick one in there, too? Almost.
Yeah, it would. I'm sure they would have called me. They don't like when they call it back usually, but I don't like when we get those. But, it had a chance.
Take me through the sequence on when it's tied 1-1 and you're on the PK there, and what did you see?
Just fill in her place. Good pressure on the entry, and read off me and Bax read off each other pretty well, and he went and just tried to cut that seam pass off. Got just enough of it, and just a breakaway and win it.
It seemed throughout the game, guys were attacking the blue line. We saw lots of skill moves, skating with the puck. Was there any sort of green light given to you guys to play that way tonight?
No, I mean, honestly, it was maybe a little bit too loose in the first, trading chances. They got a lot of skill, and that's the game they want to play. But we've got guys that can play it and can make plays, and I thought guys were confident with pucks. And, offensively, I thought we played a really good game and had a lot of good looks. And, hopefully we can keep growing that confidence to make those little plays like that.
Can dangle.
Big fella. It's pretty obvious when he's dancing. But yeah, the boys get up. They get excited when he starts doing backhand toes, and everything he does is magnified with that big frame.
With 7 to go, was this the kind of game I guess you guys needed to sort of set things up for the last home stretch? It seems like you had a lot of different parts of the game really going well.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a game we needed. We need them all. So, I think guys showed up, played well. It was a good home game. We got to turn the page here pretty quick, but can build off that game, especially the second and third. I thought we really took over, and I thought up and down the lineup it was pretty solid.
Blake, when you talked this morning about we're going to fight to the end, what's the significance of Nas going out there and giving you guys a lead 16 seconds in?
Well, it's a great start. Sets the tone for the game, and he's just been playing on another level for the last, not really all year, but especially the last month or so. He's really put the team on his back, and the net must look like a soccer net to him right now because everything's going in. But yeah, he's been really, really good for us, and you know, he set us up for a good game.
Thanks, Blake.
Thanks,
Blake.
Yeah, set them up for Saturday, which is the Vegas Golden Knights coming into town for a primetime game, and wraps up that 2-game homestand before we get one more road trip, one more extended road trip, I guess. There was the added-on game that'll come on the 17th of April as well, but Flames in Vegas comes on Saturday. You heard him talk a little bit there briefly about Adam Klapka and the big man in the reach, and obviously got a chance to talk to Kevin Rooney about it too. But you know, when the big man is rolling, there is definitely a different vibe in the arena because it's noticeable.
Yeah, and everybody was really enjoying it tonight. The crowd was getting into it, and we've seen a few toe drags from him here recently and in recent games. So, but he's choosing the right times to do it. He drills a guy early here in the game, get himself going.
Yeah.
That's what he's got to do with his big frame. You can't not hit people when you're 6'8". So you better make an impact out there. And he's done a really nice job of realizing the opportunities to do that as well.
And the puck protection is certainly part of the game there, and he did a pretty good job of it.
And you know, most fourth liners that I played with, and I hate using that terminology, but most of the guys that were out there knew their role and how to protect pucks, how to kill the clock, and to do those things. And it is truly an art. You know, you get the puck, you're not going to turn it over, you're going to make it miserable for the other team to come and get the puck from you. And I thought they did a really nice job. And then it's awesome to see these guys get rewarded with some offense tonight, and they have been as of late. You know, they had a huge game just 2 games ago. But yeah, Adam Klapka, he almost batted one out of the air tonight. Yeah. He's been noticeable, and it's just so good to see his confidence growing.
Well, and Colorado would account for those 2 goals in the third period, come from behind, win, and then maybe a couple of backhand towies in there, is what Blake Coleman described as well. Let's hear from the big man now. Here's Adam Klapka.
Yeah, I think I know I can do this stuff, but I just have to be careful when I can do it and when it's better to just chip it in and go hunt that puck. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing new for me, but it still have to be smart with the puck.
Does the confidence build when you get more games in a row and you've been able to do it consistently?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's something, you know, when you repeat something almost every day, it's get into your head. So yeah, I mean, it's helped me a lot.
For this group going out and just winning 4-1, you know, there were no goals called back, there was no controversy, it was pretty straightforward. You played your game, you won. Was that's got to feel good, just having it go like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, every time when you win the game, it's pretty awesome. So I mean, yeah, we just want to build on it and continue on Saturday.
What's it do for your group when you see a guy like Naz score so early, and you get a guy like Blake getting 2, and you know he's been around it, but just the idea of kind of building off that right away.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when the guys going to the first shift of the game and they score the goal, it's helped the team to get into confidence and help the other guys to go there and do the same thing. So I mean, yeah, he's a good player. He has really good hands to score like really sick goals. So I mean, yeah, it's awesome when he scored like that.
Well, a guy like Blake Coleman obviously got a couple tonight, but you've seen all year long, or when you're up here, that he can contribute in so many other ways.
Yeah, I know he's like kind of like inspiration for me, you know, because he started playing NHL when he was 25. So I mean, that's something unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, and you put the hard work in, you can stay a while in the NHL. So I mean, he's kind of my inspiration for that.
Do you guys talk about that? Like he's kind of giving you.
I mean, not really, but you know who we're playing with. So I mean, it's I mean, there's more guys who had the story like that. So everyone who came to the league like a little bit later than other guys, it's a big inspiration for me, and I'm happy that I can learn from them every day.
You learn from guys like Kevin Rooney and Ryan Lomberg, playing with them, especially 2 vets.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, Lombo just won Stanley Cup, so I mean, you don't really have a guy who he was in the locker room when the guys win the Stanley Cup. So I mean, he helps a lot, and Kevin, I mean, he's the same thing. He helps me with the D zone stuff, and he he tries to help me with every time when he can. He's for me here, so I'm really happy for that.
You mentioned earlier that like a while back you had that call with Jerome, and like I wonder just how much that kind of plays into this. Has he chatted with you recently, or like just the advice he had?
I mean, every time when I'm going to the game, I'm trying to remind it every single time. So every single word that he told me, I'm trying to just remind me before the game and try to go with that into the game. So I mean, it's work. So I'm happy again that he came and talked to me for sure.
When you talk about a guy like Blake being an inspiration, like obviously you didn't know him at 25, but what do you see today? Like, what can you learn from how he's made himself so effective in this league?
I mean, you know, I don't want to say he's not skilled, but he just played that game simple, and that's why he has a success. So for me, is it like to stay simple? Like, of course, you can do some stuff on the ice when you're in the O-zone and you are in the deep behind the goal line. That you can do it. But for him, he's like playing simple game. He's front of the net. He's going low, high, going to the net, just going around. And that's what I want to present myself like that. So I mean, that's kind of the thing what I want to take from him.
Cheers to another season of great times and great taste. Celebrate things done well. Original 16, official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames. Must be legal drinking age.
Flames postgame live presented by Original 16. Brendan Parker alongside Cory Sarich. 4-1, the Calgary Flames are victorious here tonight on home ice. Kick off this two-game homestand. They got Vegas coming up on Saturday, but two very important points as they try to continue their push up the Western Conference playoff picture. And St. Louis win tonight as well. We'll update the standings here after we hear from the head coach, but they'll be trying to put Minnesota into the crosshairs next, because I think they're only 4-5 points back there of Minnesota now. So let's listen in on head coach Ryan Huska, and then we'll update the standings after action tonight.
Not that the comebacks aren't nice, but nice to have a third period where you had the lead heading into the last couple minutes.
Yeah, it was a quiet third period, which is nice. So we'll take that. You know, the first period, there's parts of it we didn't like. I thought we traded chances, and that's not the way we have success. Second period, I thought we got our game back after a good penalty kill, and for the rest of the way, we were pretty happy with how we played.
You mentioned the trading chances in the first period. I asked Blake Coleman because it was at times sort of entertaining to watch. The guys were attacking the blue line. We saw lots of skill moves, but
Yeah, we can attack the blue line all we want, but we will have to make sure that we're not giving up numbers the other way. That's a big thing for us. So I'd love to see us hit the blue line, make plays nonstop. But if we're going to play that way, you always have to make sure someone's getting above again, so we're not giving numbers up. So I just felt like Dustin had to make a couple saves in the first period he probably shouldn't have. And then I thought into the second and third period, we reeled our game in a little bit.
I was asking about Adam Klapka because, I mean, he's so big that obviously when he pulls those skill moves, they really stand out. But were we seeing a more confident version of him as a player tonight?
Sure, I would assume so. Like he's not shy to handle the puck, and I think that's part of his growth and maturity. We're trying to work with him on understanding when to use the skill, when not to use the skill. But we talked earlier about him being a type of player that we don't have. Like he's physical. When he's on his game, he can skate for a big man, and he does have a good skill set. And I think the more that he plays, you're going to see more of all those elements come out in him. It's just a matter of helping him to be consistent right now, because that is really what we need from him. And then once you're consistent, your game grows from there.
Is it a sign of growth that, like, he was still willing to dance a little bit tonight? He had that one, obviously, at the blue line in Utah that you guys got hemmed in after. The fact that he was confident to kind of go back to it tonight, is that a sign of growth for him?
I hope so. I mean, that one cost us a goal in Utah, right? I mean, so that's a lesson that a young guy has to learn. Like, there's always time and place. If you have a ton of speed and you know there's people behind you that can help you out, no problem. But that's, he learned a hard lesson there, and he's a guy that wants to help the team win. So kind of that's our job as coaches, is to help him through situations like that. And putting him back in tonight, I thought he responded really well. I thought he had a good night for us along with his line mates.
Blake's on that note, he said himself that he can learn a lot from the simplicity of Coleman's game. Is that kind of words that you want to hear him say?
Sure, yeah. again, for Blake tonight, we challenged some of our older players to be our best players tonight, like Michael and Blake in particular, and I thought they were. I thought their line was very good tonight, and Farabee had a good night as well. But Blake had more pep in his step than he's had in a little while. So if Adam looks at him and he tries to model his game after Blake, just a much bigger size of it, then yeah, that's a really good thing for us.
Really safe to say that Calgary got that memo too, given his start to the game?
Yeah, I mean, Cads has been really good for us, in a lot of different ways. He's kind of the, I don't want to say heartbeat, but he's the, I don't know, more nights than not, he's dragging people into the game. And for us to get off to a good start, scoring a nice goal like that, great for us, great to get the building involved. And it was a big moment in the game for sure.
Blake's got half the amount of goals that he had last year, but can I assume that you would still argue he's just as valuable this year?
100%. Yeah, there's so many other things that people probably don't see what Blake brings to the table, whether it's on the ice. You can see the shot blocks, the hits. I mean, he goes to the net hard. He doesn't ever cheat the game, but he's also a really important person in our room in helping people along, like we talked about Adam. Like younger players don't look to older players if they're not character, if they're not someone that could be trusted on or counted in all situations, and Blake most definitely is that for us.
I don't even know exactly what I'm asking, but he had 15 shot attempts tonight.
Blake?
Yeah. So when you challenged him, were you specifically challenging him to get a little more offensive tonight?
No, just to make sure they set the tone for the way our team needed to play. That as a line, we needed that from them tonight, and I thought they delivered.
You don't see 15 shot attempts out of anybody very often.
No, not very often. So I think Mackenzie had one, didn't he, where he was like 18 or something a few nights back? But good on him. Hey, whenever somebody's getting shot attempts like that, you're around the puck. So you're doing things the right way to put yourself in positions to shoot. So that means he's skating and he's doing the things that make Blake a really good player.
What do you think of Kevin Rooney's game tonight? Seems like a glue guy for you guys and had that goal in the morning skate and one tonight. So the Roon dog seems to get a lot of people going here.
Yeah, he's a good man, another good character person in our dressing room. The line was good again tonight, and really since the Four Nation break, I think that line more often than not has been good for us, and a lot of that, in my opinion, is because of the guy in the middle of the ice. So centermen to me drive their line, and I feel like Kevin's done that here over the last little while for us, and the guys love him. You can see it in the morning when he scored a goal like that. It just brings some energy and excitement. He's a really, really good teammate. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, there is the updated Western Conference playoff picture, and the Calgary Flames move within 5 points of Minnesota, which, with a game in hand, starts to look a little bit nicer in the standings. And obviously, St. Louis wins again tonight. They actually lost a 2-goal lead in the third period in Pittsburgh, and they tied that game up, did Pittsburgh, and then St. Louis ends up winning it in overtime. So the spread continues to be 7 there and 5, but there is a game in hand, and the fact that they have one more head-to-head meeting against the Minnesota Wild. The Central playoff picture, though, all three of those teams have now clinched. Colorado wins tonight and clinched their third spot in the Central Division. So obviously the beat goes on. 7 games left, and it's just as significant Saturday as it was tonight.
Yeah, it's the old cliche day by day, and you just get after it, and hey, it's almost like being in the playoffs this time of year when it's perfect. I know they had the back-to-back the other night, but right now you've got a day in between, play a game, day in between, and that's what guys want. You don't want to drag it out. Let's get after it, and huge challenge coming up here on Saturday, and these guys I'm sure are going to be up for it. It'll have to be a little different game plan than the start of tonight. But we've seen the Flames play great defense in this building all year long, and I expect nothing different, and it won't be hard to get ready and show up for that game.
First of 2 remaining games against the Vegas Golden Knights this season, and the first one is on Saturday night to wrap up this 2-game homestand, as it continues to be significant every time they show up to the rink, but it is every other night the rest of the way. 7 games remaining, but 2 big points collected here tonight on home ice against the Anaheim Ducks, a team that they will play 7 days from now at the Pond in Anaheim coming up next week. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live, presented by Original 16. We'll be back with you at the Scotiabank Saddledome on Saturday night, an 8 p.m. start against the Vegas Golden Knights. Thanks for being here with us. We'll see you on Saturday.